Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome to this round 6 and the season finale of the iRacing Israel League here from Barber Motorsport Park, an impressive road course and museum complex located in Birmingham, Alabama, built by George Barber as a home and a run out for his impressive collection of motorcycles. The track has been designed by Alan Wilson and makes best use of the topography of the landscape and features numerous embarkation corners and a varying mixture of different types of fast, medium and slow corners to boot as well. It's a bit of a challenge to overtake around here, but we know full well from what we've seen so far this season that these drivers will find a way in spectacular fashion. I'm Tim Cox, we've got John Robertson in the production booth, but right now I'm joined by Dane Bird. Dane, as I said, it's a bit tough to overtake around here, but I think we know, we've seen it so far this season so often, these guys can find a way when no one else can.
Yeah, they definitely can. I'm really looking forward to this because, like you said, it can be difficult to overtake here. In touring cars, I've never watched touring cars on this circuit, so that's going to be an interesting thing to see because we've seen them have some fantastic racing throughout the season. There are some very difficult braking zones here which can induce mistakes, which means that we are likely to see quite a few drivers, if not going off, just giving up a little bit of time to the drivers around them, which can open up some opportunities.
Let's take you through the championship standings. Well, Alan Day already crowned champion. However, that second place spot in the championship still up for grabs between Chico and Gabay. Malasham, he is in a 4th with Malkoff in 5th. Sterling, he's in 6th with 225, so incredibly tight between 2nd and 6th place, and even Livy in 7th as well. Yaron, he's in 8th with Mizrahi and Chachashvili taking up to 10th. Then it's Bashar, Chachashvili, Tabashnik and Kana taking all the way through the standings and down into Amar Shakirov leading the way. This championship is still very much up for grabs with Baba and Zubarev. Go out between any which way between those three, so keep an eye out for them. We've then got Cher on 198 points with only 6 points behind him is Simon, Stern, Ventura, Lachette, Tsir and Galili taking up to 10th place with Mazas. Only 1 point off being inside that top 10 with Last Abramov, Isaac, Tizoni, Malaka, Dabush and Portman rounding out the championship standings. We've got qualifying underway right now, although pretty much coming to a close. It's looking like we've got Malkov topping the timing sheets. A bit of a practice start going on there from Zubarev. And I think definitely, you know, it's always so crucial to get a good start, isn't it, Dean? But around this track, it's going to be even more crucial.
Yeah, it's a very tricky first corner, especially on the first lap. It's pretty much blind. You're going in there, really fast left-hander, and it's on a downward slope as well. It then sweeps back up through turn 2, which is again super long, and it's the right-hander up over the crest for turn 3 as well. It is a very tricky circuit. I don't think any of the corners on the circuit are easy. I think maybe the final corner, but even then it's quite easy to underestimate how tight it is and just run off wide. It's what I've seen most in the few official races I've done here. It is a very tricky circuit. There's some corners that might look simple enough, but maybe they've got a slightly curved braking zone, and that just makes it all the more awkward. The final complex of corners got to be one of the weirdest sections I've ever driven. It slows up, and then you can carry more speed than you think, but you try and carry more speed, and then you run off wide. So it's a really interesting circuit, a lot of different corners, and the drivers are eager to get going, loads of them hopping straight onto the grid.
Yeah, so your front row is comprising of Malkov and Day, with top AM driver Isaac in third place, sharing the row with Sherling. Third row is Gabay and Shakirov. Meshalam and Barber on the fourth row of the grid, and then the fifth row round out top 10 is Yaron and Chonchiko. Mizrahi and Stern take you up to 12th place, with Zubarev and Mazuz making the last complete row, and Tomo Ventura is going to round out our 15-car grid here. Well, a bit smaller than what we're used to, but it's all you need. You just need 2 cars to have a race. We've got 15 of them. And just waiting for the last 2 to take to the grid are 2 front row drivers. Leaving it a little bit late in the day. Malkov, just see him popping in there right now in the Hyundai Veloster, and just waiting on Day. And then we will be away racing for the first race of today. 15 minutes of fun, action and drama, and keep an eye out for who's finishing in 10th place, because the top 10 are inverted to form the grid for race 2. So, of course, 10th place, they will come pole, and first is demoted down to 10th, and everyone sorting themselves out in between. But here come the lights, and let's get ready to go racing at Barber Motorsport Park. And we are away. You see, wow, an absolutely shocking start from Isaac there from the second row of the grid. He's going to find himself right down through the order. Already down to 7th, dropping 4 places, and wow, already a bit of contact, and Chico just making his way through there. That's going to space out the front a little bit right now. Markov and Day scampering away up front. And then we've got Gabay and Shakirov scrapping out over 3rd overall. Pro versus AM, and it looks like Shakirov's going to get the move done up the inside in the Audi RS3. However, the Honda is going to come right back at him as everyone just filters through in the background. Oh, there's contact there. It's Yaron's one of them. I didn't quite catch. I'm not sure if you did, Dane. Who was the other driver he came into contact with?
Couldn't quite make it out. I think it might be the driver that started the race in 10th. Was it Chico? Was it Chico? I think it might have been, as they make their way through this really tricky S section, the left and the right. As I said, it is very tricky, and a couple of drivers running wide on this opening lap. Tyres are not going to be at their best as they now make their way through what feels like an identical left-right until you reach the second part. Much tighter than the first, up and over a crest. You can barely see where the exit curb is, and then this long right-hander. Try and pick a braking point. I think there's about 4 of them, as a couple of drivers look to be making their way into the pits as well. Michael Sherling, first driver down there into the pit lane on lap number 1. Malkov managing to hold off Alon Day for the first lap, though.
It's a really strong start, and we're using the lack of available overtaking opportunities. I mean, realistically, you've got into turn 1 and then into turn 5 to give you the best opportunity of getting a move done. But we've seen this before from Day, where he just sits behind, stalks his prey, and waits for the right moment, and then lets fly and gets the move done. Gabay, just he's in third right now. You just see him in the background. Shakirov behind him in fourth. Top of currently with Barber. Fifth overall, up 3 places, second in class right now. And the podium in Amber, rise up by Isaac, who's currently in 7th. Of course, that really poor start, hampering him massively. He's down 4 places so far. As they just round into the last part of the circuit, towards turn 11. So we're just getting a replay. And there is Yaron, and you see, ooh, exit stage left, that connection. Yeah. Rubbing his racing, but the last thing you want to be doing is rubbing up against the barrier. It's going to cost him dearly in big time, but it's been an intriguing one here. Malkov really starting to put some air between himself and Day at the front of the field, Day.
Yep, doing a fantastic job. Really seems to be clicking with the circuit. We heard pretty much nobody in the series has driven laps at Barber except Valon in the Xfinity series over in the States. So I guess that's pretty much the best experience of the circuit you can get in those Xfinity cars. Super fun to wheel those things around. But he's doing all right, Markov, to hold up. Not hold up Day, sorry, just to keep him behind and start to expand on that lead. 10-lap race. It's going to be interesting to see if how many of those laps they actually finish, because it's capped at 15 minutes as usual. Very rarely do we actually get all 10 laps. We'll see how many they can get done in this first race. It can vary quite a bit as well. I've seen in a couple of the official series recently, the races have been going different lengths, so we could even see a different number of laps in the different heats. So the drivers have to keep an eye on that, especially a little bit further back, because they don't know which is the last lap until they get there. It's ideal to have some idea of how many laps you've got left.
Most certainly, and Meshlam trying to make a bit of progress here on the brakes, up the inside. Wow. It's said about these guys finding ways to make overtakes in places you wouldn't normally do it. And Meshlam doing that exactly there on the entrance into turn 11. Don't normally tend to see that as an overtaking opportunity. Meshlam using all the straight line speed that Honda Civic Type Power possesses over the Audi RS3. Behind him of Mizrahi, as there is Gabay trying to defend right now from Shakirov, who's all over the back of him. New fastest lap from Malkov at 131.75. Really starting to push away from Day, some 2 tenths quicker than him. That gap at the front out to nearly 1.1 second. Shakirov still trying to prevent the... trying to find a way past Yossi Gabay. Currently in front of him. As they come down on the brakes into turns 7, 7A and B. That's a little bit like a much shallower version of the corkscrew at Laguna Seca. That's what always reminds me of that corner day.
There's one good thing about the circuit is the curbs. The curbs are awesome. You can send fully over them. You'll see here, Shakirov through here. Actually misses the apex slightly, but on the right-hand side, all up over him. And you can see the amount of exit speed that he's managed to gain over Yossi Gabay. He's going to try and force his way down the inside, and Yossi Gabay covers him off fantastically. No way through just yet, as we have a car stopped on the circuit, just stopped on the side. That's really odd. No damage looking... Oh, no, it doesn't look like there's any damage on the car, and has now towed back to the pit lane, so not too sure what's happened to Nir Mizrahi, but it doesn't seem like a sim problem. It seems more like something else has gone wrong there.
Yeah, bit of a strange one. Not too sure what that is about. We'll even try and find that one out for you. As new fastest laps as fuel starts to burn off, starting to come in. Malkov going quicker again here at Barber with a 31.6. And also joining him in the 31s is Am driver Barber, currently 2nd in class right now, 5th overall. Just to keep you updated on 10th place overall. Zubrev currently occupying that one, so he will get promoted to pole position for race 2 if he keeps that. Of course, the top 10 are being inverted for race 2. Zubrev still trying to find a way past Stern, who's sternly defending from him right now, but Tom Ventura, who's had a good start from the back of the grid, started last, running up to 11th at 4 places. Joint highest climber currently with Chico, who's up in 6th place. Well, these two, they just won't leave each other alone, and Kirov, as close as he can get, just can't seem to find that definitive edge right now, Dane.
Yeah, he seems to be gaining quite a bit in the braking zones, but unfortunately, most of the braking zones are pretty small. Most of the corners being quite fast. You can see there again, loads of gains in this part of the circuit as he tries to force his way around the outside, but it's such a long corner that's never really going to work and can't quite find the exit speed. And that's been the big problem for Shkirov at the moment, is the exit speed has been lacking. Yes, you can get alongside, but if Yossi is just going to cover off the inside line every time, but the corners being so long, a little bit of a tap there, but the corners being so long, he's not able to actually get past or stay alongside once he does that. He needs to try and get a better exit out of one of the corners. You'll see here again, going to close up quite a bit in the braking zone, but this isn't an overtaking opportunity down through the right, left, right. Into the exit, that's going to be the most important part, and once again, looks like Goodbye has just managed to get a good enough exit to keep him behind for now. They've got to watch out though, because on their back, Barber is caught right up to them, setting quick laps, as you said earlier, and now it's a three-way fight. Shkirov needs to watch out because it's a closer gap behind than it is in front now.
I'll tell you, Barber's really... bit of contact saves it. Luckily, this car's being front-wheel drive. You can just absolutely plant the accelerator and it brings the front end back around when you start losing it. But, as you're saying, Dane, Shkirov not only needs to concentrate on what he's doing to Gabay in front of him, but also he needs to get it right if he does try to pull off a move, because Barber is lurking in the background. As you said, he's closer to Shkirov than Shkirov is to Yossi Gabay. Oh, well, he's not going to... Mowing the grass isn't going to help him close up that gap, and he does all of his hard work in the blink of an eye. Lap 7 out of 10, 9 minutes 45 out of 15, so it looks like we're going to be lap limited based on that here at Barber. There is that Meshalam trying to close up on Isaac. Oh, he looks like we're going to be able to pass on here. Zubrev heads down to the inside. Can't quite get it slowed up quick enough, and Ventura trying to find a bit of speed right around the outside. If he can pull up alongside, then he'll be able to squeeze up and make a move, but can't quite get the exit that he wanted. Zubrev defending it, and this is part of the trouble. With these three drivers all running exactly the same car, the Hyundai Elantra is going to be strong and weak in exactly the same part of the track. It's all going to come down to the driver and their skill, their racecraft, their nous, their ability to smell an overtake when it's available. Zubrev just sort of coming under a bit of a pressure from Tom Ventura, who's desperate to try and find a way past in these closing stages. Malkov, there you go. Zubrev just running a bit wide, and Ventura says, thank you very much, I'll have a piece of that.
It looks like maybe there was even a little bit of contact there. It looks like both drivers having to back right out. I think Zubrev slightly wide, tap on the grass, and well, that's enough to send any car spinning around. And yeah, both drivers having to back out, but Zubrev, unfortunately, just missing out on that occasion. We'll see how this battle progresses, because they've got Yaron behind them as well now. And that's going to make it very interesting when Yaron tries to get involved. Obviously 7 seconds on the timing tower behind Meshalam, but only about half a second behind these two. You can see the 134 in the background. And back up the inside, Zubrev's going to take that position back, and they're going to go side by side now in towards the chicane and hairpin. Very interesting place to try and go side by side. Is one of them going to back out? Just about. Oh, they're all going all over the place. What's going on?
Well, Yaron just slipping past Zubrev there, just casually. The entry to it, however, Zubrev just pulling back alongside These two practically holding hands as Zero just has to back out of it. And now Yaron trying to make advances on Ventura ahead of him. Let's not forget as well, as being said, Yaron, one of the pro drivers, so a little bit out of position. We hear the suspension working overtime, and he's pretty much bump drafting Ventura there, trying to squeeze his way past, and Ventura's run wide. And that could even gift the place to Zubrev if he's not too careful. He needs to try and kill off the momentum here, but Zubrev loses the switchback. Could he be the last of the late breakers into turn 1 and get the move done, reclaim this place? No, just decides against it, plays it safe, backs out of it, and slots back in behind Tom Ventura.
Now this is a awesome battle that we're getting to see here. Up at the front of the AM category, Shakira and Bab are still only half a second separated. So good battle still going on over there. They're not able to get quite close enough yet to make any moves. Obviously the slower the cars go, the closer in time you have to be. Because a quicker car, bigger amount of time, it's going to mean quite a big distance, but not in the slower ones. You've got to get right up close if you want to try and make anything happen, which is exactly what's just happening here. Barber's going to look, not able to get anything out of it.
Just trying to keep half an eye up front, because I think Malkov's lost a big chunk of time somewhere out on track, and Day seems to have caught back up again. Let's say caught back up. Well, he's got it the gap down to about a second. The white flag flies here at Barber Motorsport Park. We're on lap 10 out of 10. Let's look at the lap times. About half a second in it. Day was quicker, but Malkov just needs to bring this home. And with that nice little cushion there of 1.3 seconds, you can see how Day has been pushing, taking 3 attempts and then 4 attempts on laps 8 and 9 respectively out of Malkov, but Malkov having a bit of time to play with and to push too hard. Oh, the emphasis has definitely been on Day. There's Meshalem trying to squeeze away past onto Isaac there. Looking for the switchback in the Honda. He manages to pull alongside, or does he? I think he's just not been able to get quite the run he would have hoped for there, where he's taken the much tighter line against Isaac, who was able to just open up and get on the power a lot sooner and slingshot himself out of the corner to keep hold of that 3rd place in class. And 7th overall for now. Shakirov, a little bit close there, but Baba's taken the lead in, and he runs wide instantly off the track. And Shakirov says, thank you very much, I'll have that place back off you. But Malkov is going to come along and take the checkered flag here in race 1 at Barber Motorsport Park by a casual 1.5 seconds over Day. Yoshi Gabai is going to finish 3rd after making up 2 places. But Baba's managed to get his way past Shakirov. Not sure he managed to do that right at the depth, but he's managed to reclaim it, and Shakirov in the end has to settle for 2nd. So this is what we managed to see, Dane, on the way in, where Baba just runs a bit wide out onto the grass. This is what has me intrigued, because you can see he's well behind now.
Just sending it, getting the switch back maybe onto the final corner, getting a drag race. No, carrying more speed around the outside of the penultimate corner as the session changes over. We're not going to be able to see exactly what happens, but it's pretty obvious. Sends it up the inside of the final corner, gets a good enough run, and takes the win. So pretty awesome stuff there. I don't know how we managed to do that. Just send it so much more speed around the outside of that penultimate corner and still make the turn. But now is where things are going to get slightly more interesting, because we've got a top 10 reverse grid.
We have indeed. Yaron will start on pole after finishing in 10th, with Stern joining him on the front row. Meshalam and Isaac there on the 2nd row, with Chico and Shakirov on the 3rd row. Baba and Gabay are on the 4th row with Day, and race 1 winner Malkov demoted to the 5th row and 10th place. And here come the lights. Let's get ready to go racing for the 2nd time today from Barber Motorsport Park. A look at the start from the 2nd row of the grid that Meshalam has got absolutely scampering away there. Oh, the there's big contact, and all of his work undone as he sent careering off into the gravel trap at turn 1. Everyone else managing to get away. Well, it looked like a bit of minor contact, but for some reason he was sent catapulting off there. But there's a drag race on. Well, who's going to get down to turn 5? The quickest, and hard onto the brakes. There's contact everywhere. 2 different sets of contact, and I think our race 1 winner was one of the drivers caught up in that. Yes,
it was indeed. It's Malkov out in the gravel trap at turn 5, and as they make their way through what is turn 6, but it's just basically a kink, moving in towards the chicane hairpin. This is going to be very interesting now, because we've got a lot of drivers out of position from where they started in this race, as I think we've got more contact happening further back. You can just hear it as they made their way through the chicanes. What is going on here at the start of race number 2? We've got someone off for the front as well. Somehow, Alonde has managed to make his way up into 2nd place.
Funny you say that, Dan. I've just literally just glanced up to our timing sheets, and I don't even know how he's managed to do that.
How is he?
7 places, and we haven't even completed 1 lap. Oh, bit of contact, more contact. Well, it's the last race of the season. Doesn't matter what shape or form your car finishes in. And Day, well, nearly having the absolutely perfect start, but right onto the back of Yaron. As he tries to sneak 1st place away from him, and I can really hear the suspension rattling as the curbs clatter, and someone taking Tokyo drift style through turn 2. I think there might have been Ventura, but this could be the move for the lead. Day up the inside. But let's not forget Yaron looking for the switchback with the outside line. He carry a bit more speed, but Day knows that. It just squeezes him out wide. Can Yaron pull alongside? It's going to be close. They're pretty much wheel to wheel, side by side. And Day's going to have to swoop down from the outside, and he just gets it done. And Yaron outbrakes himself, trying to get through and keep the lead. In doing so, gives Day already enough 2nd advantage. There's Isaac having a bit of a drag race there with Tom Ventura to come through turns 9 and 10, and up to 11. Wow, I mean, another great start as well. Michael Sherling currently in 5th, up 10 places already.
Yeah, obviously had the issues at the beginning of the first race and had to pit on lap number 1. That's a massive amount of time lost that you're never going to gain back. So obviously starting right at the back. And has actually done a fantastic job to be making all of these positions up. It says +4 on the timing tower. That's only because it's +4 in class. But yeah, absolutely insane stuff from Shelling to make his way through all the carnage and more carnage, as I know Isaac is going to get just smashed off the side of the racetrack. It's just doored off the racetrack. Massive amount of contact there and towards turn number 2. Not entirely sure who that was that clattered into the side of him, but looks like through no fault of his own, he's dropped back a couple places.
Wow. We've seen it so many times this season that race 2 brings a bit of drama, excitement. Yet again, it is not failing to deliver here in the season finale, the very last race of the season in the iRacing Israel League. Shakirov currently leading right now, 3rd overall. So this is Day from the start. And wow, he really hooked up us. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to see the big contact. There is Meshalam going across. But he absolutely just had the start of his life. And then there he is, up the inside, through turn 2. Wow. There's a masterclass on how to start this car. I think you need to look at that start from Day.
Yep, for sure. It's incredible. And then to avoid all of the carnage that ensues at turn 5 as well. And just end up right up in the lead. Just fantastic. And now of course, you've got only one driver who can match him for pace. Unfortunately, that's Yaroslav Malkov. We're looking at now making his way around the outside of turn 2, trying to get past Stern, it looks like. Sorry, trying to get past Mazuz. But there's not really a chance that Malkov catches up that gap now. It's much too great for that. 12 seconds and quite a few cars separate Alon Day and Yaroslav Malkov. So you'd expect Alon just to finish off the season on quite a high.
Already wrapped up the championship before we even arrived at the last round, and trying to sign off the season in style with a victory here in race 2. There's Chico all over the back of Ventura, who's having a good race by himself. He's currently on the podium in right now. Is Tom Ventura in 7th overall at 4 places so far. Chico, of course, one of the drivers caught up in the melee at the start. 3 places from where he started in the pro meeting, and am sandwich right now. Zubarev looming large in his mirrors, as Yaron could lose another place because Shakirov, the AM driver, looking to slot it up the inside to get into 2nd overall, but can't quite get his car alongside enough. And Yossi Gabai, wow, he wants a piece of this fun, joining in the fight, closing right up onto Yaron and Shakirov. As Yaron defends early, then has a chance. No, he's got it covered. Pulls back across onto the racing line. That's where we see that Shakirov's quite strong through there. There's another battle as well. Chico having to take to the inside, well, the outside line of Ventura, that is. It's such a tricky corner, isn't it, Dane? Turn 5, where if you can get it right, you can make big gains. There's Chico moving left and right and giving Ventura a bit of a nudge for good measures there to get the move done.
What's this way past?
Wow. It's like a can opener there, just get that move then.
Just gave him a little bit of extra speed. I think he wasn't particularly happy with the entry speed Ventura was taking, so he thought, oh, okay, I'll give you a bit of a boost. We need to get going here. And then Ventura still not having it. Moved a little bit to the outside. Chico saw a millimeter of space. Bang, straight in there. As Malkov has tried to do as well. Up the inside now of Zubarev, and he's going to try and make this move stick, but this is such an awkward corner, and the TV cameras just do not do it justice. I think next time we go around, if we can get an onboard shot of it, because it is such an awkward sequence of corners. A couple of rights, but they tighten up and widen at the same time before getting even tighter and narrower for the final. It is such an awkward sequence of corners. Trying to make an overtake stick there is very impressive, which is why I was so impressed with Barber getting that race win in race number 1. Here we have now got battle for the podium places, and Gabai wants to take one off of Shkirov. Is going to do so successfully, and actually has the inside line down the back straight as well. We're going to see now, is he going to be able to make something happen here? No, the bump draft of the drivers alongside probably going to prove very effective. They're going to go side by side. Skirov's all sorts of loose into the braking zone. Gabai has to back out of that one. Probably the sensible move there.
Kirov almost arriving into turn 7, nearly sideways there. Had managed to hold on to it and also move himself up into 3rd. See, defending that place from Gabai, who temporarily took it on the drag race out of turn 5. Right on board with Yossi Gabai right now. This is going to show exactly what you were talking about, Dane. This never-ending right-hander, it feels like.
It almost straightens up, then there's a kink, and then there's this really tight right-hander, and then there's the left, and you can see the exit the entire time. You're like, okay, there, I'm going, and then it tightens up, and you've just got to be very patient on the throttle. Because if you give even the slightest amount too much, you're off into the grass, and if there's one thing we know about grass and iRacing, it's not your friend. If you get on the grass, you're probably ending up in the wall on the other side of it, so really got to make sure that you get that section of the circuit right in. Oh, Shkirov's going to try and make a move here up into 2nd place. Looks like Yaron just outbraked himself in towards the 2nd corner, and that's going to allow Gabai to try and make a move here as well. doesn't quite get alongside, but here comes Sherling up the inside, almost going to make it 3 wide, but just sticks for 4th position overall for now as they all bunch up. Only 5 minutes left of the season. Time to make their markers now.
And this isn't quite certain for, wow, Sherling just moving across there to cover it off. As you can see, Gabay just coming through like a freight train, trying to reclaim that place from Sherling. And look who's come in to join the fight, right at the depth. Barber coming along into the mix as well. It's all happening out on track. Literally, what we've got roundabouts, just over a second separating the top 4. Day, he's checked out fully at the front. Some
oh my god, around the outside! Barber's tried that a couple times now.
Yes.
It hasn't quite worked out either time, but that was very close. He only went 2 wheels off the circuit this time.
Oh, that's not going to help him. I was going to say about maybe
on the outside, I think.
Giving it one more go, fair time lucky and all that, but well, I think that's going to put pay to it. We're on lap 8 out of 10. And not really a chance to catch that one up as Sherling going to try and squeeze himself onto the podium overall as Yaron having to defend for his life right now because Shakirov has cleared off up the road and Sherling moving left. He moves right, ducking, diving, trying to find a way through, but needs to be careful because that Audi RS3 of Yossi Gabay, he's going to try and slot his way past where Sherling just wasn't concentrating on what was going on behind him. We're going to have a 3 wide into turn 7. No, there's contact. And Yaron, how did he hold on to that one? Well, he makes contact with Sherling. They practically all come to a stop. But overall, Sherling's got ahead of Yaron. Yossi Gabay stays where he is.
And somehow, the wonder of touring cars, they're all still going. That happens in any other type of car, I think, that we've seen in the iRacing Israel League over the years. Someone's off into the barriers.
Oh, what a move!
What a send! Oh, dear! Sherling's gone very slow there. I thought for a second maybe that right rear wheel has come straight off, and that's why it was so slow, but very slow, and I'm not entirely sure why that is, but really struggling.
Suspension damage, because it looks like when
the
he's
right-hand side, yeah.
It's
just not turning.
No. Seems to be struggling a bit. And
the slightest of taps in front there. It's given him suspension damage. That right rear is gone. It's no longer connected to the car at all. Oh, that's a disaster for Sherling.
well, what looked like a podium overall. Now down to 6th place. Still up an incredible 9 places, all things considered, which is absolutely stunning effort from Michael Sherling, but this is going to be a race of what might have been for him. Look at his, yeah, you can see the way that he's soaring like a woodworker at the steering wheel there.
Yep, and the brakes are not going to be as effective, of course, because that wheel is not properly connected to the car. It's not going to be completely ineffective, but it's not going to be as effective as it should be.
Well, got to feel for Michael Sherling in the Veloster there. What was some epic racing from him. And Malkov. Are we seeing another disqualification here, Dane, in race 2?
We are. He's got the black flag with the white cross. The disqualification for Malkov has gone over the incident limit. Wow.
Wow. And as the white flag flies for Day, 1 lap to go, 1 lap left of the season. He's got a healthy advantage. He's 9 seconds clear at the front. Well, 9.5 nearly to be precise. Over Shakirov, the AM driver, who's going to, well, as things stand at the moment, he will finish 2nd overall. Spectacular result for him. Wow, drama right up until the final laps of the final race of the season. And this still isn't done. Yaron could lose another place and all. A bit of contact there with Barber, who squeezes his way through. Oh! Oh,
it's Sherling.
Sherling. Do you think a little bit of afters there, Dane, potentially? It was, of course, Yaron who
Possibly.
he had the collision with, of course, he gave him the suspension damage, but, well.
But
Yaron's...
also, I think Yaron sent Meshalam off the circuit as well at turn 1, lap number 1. Obviously, with that incident in the first race, I don't think there was too much of a worry on his mind there, but coming around the final corner, what a season for this man.
He has had an absolutely stunning season, and with a flash of lights and across the line, Alan Day takes the victory in the final race of the season here from Barber Motorsport Park. Shakirov, the AM driver, will finish second overall in spectacular fashion. Yossi Gabai will finish second in class, third overall with Baba, second in AM, fourth overall. Great stuff for him. Yaron finishes third in Pro, and Zubrev is going to pick up the last podium place in AM, the way down in 8th place. But wow, you think you can't overtake around Barber Motorsport Park? Well, these guys can. They found a way when so many people can't and haven't in the past. And let's just say for your classified results, Alon Day takes the victory here in race 2, the final race of the season. Shakirov, spectacular stuff from the AM driver. Second overall, Yossi Gabai rounds out the podium overall with Baba second in class, fourth overall. Yaron Sherling, Sherling, he was going to feel really aggrieved. What could have been for him? Sixth is what he has to settle for today. Chico 7th, Zubrev 3rd in AM, 8th overall with Isaac Ventura running out your top 10. Mazurs, Stern, Malkov was 2 laps down, and then our 2 retirements, Mizrahi, who we lost on lap 5, and Meshalam, who of course we lost on lap 3. We saw that contact he had at turn 1, which was maybe a little bit it seemed a bit exaggerated for the amount of actual contact that he had into turn 1, Dane. He just seemed to get catapulted off into the gravel trap.
Yeah, could have been a little bit of netcode involved. It could have also just been the rear of the car, because especially going that downhill in a braking zone through the corner, the rear of their cars are going to be extremely light in these touring cars. A little bit of a tap there can send it completely around, and then maybe it's not quite as effective on the brakes, especially not once you get onto the grass and the gravel. So that could have had something involved, but yeah, definitely did look like a little bit too much contact almost in the first couple of corners there.
And Dane, I've dragged across for you our race victor in race 2, and also picked up the second in race 1. Your series champion is Alon Day.
Hey, how are you doing?
Well, they're doing all right. I'm pretty sure you are going to be as well. Obviously champion, but you knew that before the round. When you took a while to get onto the grid at the first race, I was half expecting you to just start from the pit lane and just give us a bit of a show, but you didn't. You chose not to do that. Instead, you just stuck behind Malco for the first race. How was it out there? Obviously, you've not done Barber on iRacing before. In the touring cars, of course. Loads of fun in the touring cars. How's the circuit out there?
Yeah, no. I planned to do the race from my original place on the grid. I just had to to run to the toilet. But yeah, I think I came. To be honest, I think I was too cocky in the afternoon to think that I'm quick enough, and then we jumped into 12, and I was amazed by the lap that Yari put. Yeah, so during the race, I think during the race behind him, I kind of like discover new ways and where I do mistakes and try to keep up the pace with him. And I think, I think that's a good example of you don't not always have to be the quickest to win the championship. Also, you have to be the smartest. And in race 2, I was trying to avoid any contacts, and I know that I knew it's gonna be a mess, and I was trying to avoid everything. And damn. Thankfully, I survived the first lap to win the second race, so I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, talk us through that first lap, because we did have a bit of a look at it halfway through the race, just a replay of it. But starting from ninth on the grid, did you ever expect to be second halfway round the first lap of the race? Because we definitely didn't.
Halfway, I think I was second, like in the second corner. I don't know how. To be honest, I have no idea. I had a good start. I think a couple guys in front of me had a bad start. I managed to overtake everybody, and yeah, I placed. As I said, especially in touring car, I think this is the main factor that makes it so fun. It's not about how quick you are. You need to place yourself and have a good, racecraft, and be smart and be, more tactic. And it's not only about speed. You know where to place yourself and keep out of trouble, and be in the best position to attack the guy in front of you and to overtake. And I think the lower the horsepower and the speed, the toughest, the tougher it is.
Yeah, and it's why we see, so in Formula One, the cars are usually quite difficult to overtake, and just because the speeds are so great, the braking zones are much smaller. And this thing, you got much bigger braking zones, and yeah, because you don't have the power coming out the corner, carrying the momentum through the corners is obviously really important. At Barber, was it more difficult to try and make overtakes? I mean, you didn't really get too many opportunities to do so, but it must be more difficult to carry the speed around this place because of the odd corners that it has. It's got quite a few tricky fast corners rather than the main slower, more usual overtaking opportunities.
Yeah, first of all, I totally agree with you. With the Formula One. Eventually in motorsports, the thing that I have the most amount of fun is rental go karts. Eventually, so yeah, I totally agree with that. And Barber, it is a quite difficult track. I know it's gonna be a difficult track. I know it from the real life. When I raced there in Indy Lights, it was a difficult track. But as long as your competitors are I have a lot of respect to drive side by side. I think you can have some good fights, and at least I think you can manage holding side by side, especially in the second half of the track where it's more high speed corners and longer corners. I think you can have more fun over there.
Well, with the season over, next thing you've got to cast your mind to, of course, is this weekend upcoming. Just a little quick thing. I would like to have your thoughts on Brands Hatch in Euro NASCAR, American Speed Festival. It's an odd weekend. I don't know why they choose the Le Mans weekend each year, but it's an odd weekend to do it on. But that must be a lot of fun, surely.
Yeah, you're gonna be there.
I'm going to be in France with Tim,
Ah,
unfortunately. We're both going to Le Mans for the 24 hours, so I'm going to miss it. Otherwise, I definitely would have been there.
well, we're definitely gonna have more entertaining racing than Le Mans. Trust me.
I don't know about that so much, but
Wow.
I'm sure about that. I'm sure. No, but yeah, I'm looking forward. I think I came out of Valencia with a victory, being second in the championship with only 1 point to the lead. And I know Branzach quite good. I have quite a lot of victories over there. I love this track, and I think it is an extremely hard, especially with those with the NASCAR. It's like half a tank. So it is a lot of fun, and yeah, it's not going to be easy. The level of this championship really went higher and higher each year. I think it's going to be extremely difficult, but yeah, I'm very confident, especially after I won here in Barber. Now I feel totally confident.
yeah, well, I think it's 4 wins at Brands Hatch that you have, and I think the record is 5. Do you think you'll be close to
Yeah,
equaling
I
or
just
maybe even
need
beating it?
another one to tie, or two to break the record. Yeah, and hopefully I will talk to you next time, and I will be the all-time winner in Brands Hatch.
Well, yeah, definitely hope so. Good luck with the Euro NASCAR this weekend. Yeah, congratulations on a fantastic iRacing Israel League season.
Yeah, and thank you guys for being with us the whole season, and thanks to the iRacing Israel and everybody that put the support, and to obviously my team Finest, the esport team that gave me also the support and the capability to be here on the top level. And yeah, hope to see you soon, guys, or maybe on the track.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, we definitely do hope to see you back out here soon. Well, it was fantastic to speak to a race winner in race number 2 and also second in race 1. But of course, the champion of season 7 of the iRacing Israel League, Elon Day. Fantastic to hear from, as always, and best of luck for him for his rest of the season in Euro NASCAR. But we have got another driver waiting for a chat, Tim.
We have indeed. We're now joined by Yossi Gabai with 2 third places to his name here today. Wow. Which was harder to achieve, race 1 or race 2, Yossi?
Yeah, hi, Tim and Dane. Hi. I think the second race was tougher. This track is very hard to attack while driving side by side, and slow corners are very tight. And few times I had to give up and sacrifice the entry for the exit. So it's hard to manage.
Obviously, we saw in those closing stages of the final couple of laps in race 2, it was really bumper to bumper stuff, classic touring car action. Well, at least for us watching at home up in the commentary booth. For yourself being involved in that, was it a bit more frustrating, a bit more fraught, a bit more frantic and nerve-wracking?
Actually, it was up and down, just like the track up and down.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes I had the advantage, but all of a sudden I got behind because I was closed up by 2 cars. And they had a real fight in front of me, so eventually I got the upper hand, but it was just by luck.
And obviously, just looking back at the season, what's been your favourite round?
Actually, this one, because I had 2 podiums right now. So
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. Yes, that's
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Uh, I don't like very much the touring cars, even though the races are very close. But the pace seems a little bit limp, so I don't really like them. Although I got good results with them, so it's mixed feelings about it.
Yes, I can understand that one. And the race start, obviously, the start in race 2. It was very, there was collisions. There was some people. We was just chatting to Alon about it, and there was some people getting good starts, some people getting bad starts. Put us inside the cockpit. What was it like from your perspective?
Yeah, I guess that there will be some issues with the headlight. On the second corner, I think I got the inside line, and lucky I got away from an accident that just happened on the apex. And I think this really opened up the race for me.
Definitely. And well, congratulations on your 2 third places. That's Yossi Gabai here from Barber Motorsport Park.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Wow. Dane, it's a bit hard really to pick out. We've had so many great moments across this season. Normally in your average championship, there's 1 or 2, maybe 3, but I think, we started back at Watkins. I mean, can you believe it? Some 12 weeks ago, we've had Hockenheimring, Road America. That was, wow, we saw plenty of drama in that one. Summit Point, Spa, Barber. It's obviously here today. It's just been a complete and utter whirlwind of a season.
Yeah, it definitely has. And we've actually just got, in fact, Tim, if you want to take a look at the channel, we have got the final standings. Ooh. I believe these are still provisional because as far as I'm aware, there is an appeal system. The drivers are going to be able to appeal protests and appeal some of the incidents that may have happened during the race. There were a lot of incidents in this race. So I believe they're still provisional, but we do have some results for you.
We do indeed, don't we? So obviously Alan Day, we knew he'd be crowned a champion. Chico picks up second place in the championship. Yossi Gabay is tied with Malkov for third place, so shared honours for that last spot overall. Your AM winner is Shakirov. I think that's probably no surprising really, with Barber in second, and then just having a quick scoop through. Third place in AM goes to Zubarev. He was literally just, well, actually, he's done all right, hasn't he? Yes, I thought he was 1 point ahead of his nearest rival, but that was Star Louis, who was, of course, in pro, who was just 1 point behind him. So, absolutely spectacular stuff. And so, congratulations provisionally to, well, Day's pretty much confirmed anyway, but Shakirov even, in AM for taking the AM title. Absolute brilliant stuff. And well, we've had drama, as we said, from the very start, all the way back at Watkins Glen, and just really just wet our whistle here for what was to come for the rest of the season. Hockenheim saw drama and disqualification in race 2 that really shaped things up. Road America, well, it was the big incidents down the end of the back straight that really shaped up those races. I think we had to look about a 7-car incident into that corner. Summit Point was a little bit more of an orderly affair with drivers following around, but still we had plenty of great door banging action. And Spa, well, it's a classic circuit, and it brought out classic touring car action through Eau Rouge, across Radion and down the Kemmel Straight into Lacombe. The rest is history. As Barber Motorsport Park, well, coming into this, we knew it'd be tough to overtake around here, but as I said before, if anyone could make an overtake, it's these guys, and they did it in numerous ways and places that you shouldn't be allowed to overtake. It's been an absolutely spectacular season from myself, Tim Cox, Dane Baird, and John Robertson. Thanks very much, and we'll see you soon here at Apex Racing TV.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Yeah. The one time John did actually. It didn't go right. Yeah, you're gonna do it. You're gonna check every single time now, aren't